The people living in that time saw something that they had never ever seen before. They saw water falling from the heavens. Because people, you have to understand, the people who lived in the flood lived for about 2,500 years before the world got destroyed. And during that time period, we saw the scum of the earth, albinos, anybody with straight hair, how they really looked like, what they looked like, which was the ugliest beings in the world. Because today, as we have said, when you look at any albino, anybody with straight hair, you think that they look human. But even when you're looking at them, you know they look weird. There is something off because they are not human. But during that time before the flood, you could fully recognize that an albino, anybody with straight hair, was not human because they did not look human as you see them today. Because an albino is a creation of Satan, which is an angel with a human being. And during the flood, angels were sleeping with black human women and giving birth to albinos, anybody with straight hair. So probably you've heard before of such stories as they tell you. You probably heard David Icke would use this, who's an albino himself. He says that there are reptilians living amongst us. Who do you think the reptilians are? You think they are black people? Well, we won't get into that finer detail until we get to the shape of our world.
Hi, I'm Nat, and lately I've been wondering, is there a secret race of reptile people controlling our governments and enslaving humanity? We'll see. Since I was a child, I've been naturally inquisitive, questioning anything and everything that didn't quite make sense. Here I'll be studying the evidence for and against all of history's mysteries, doing the work so you don't have to, but you really should do it on your own, like check sources and all that. Okay. On today's episode, Reptilian Conspiracy. If you've been paying attention, you might have heard more and more references to a clandestine reptilian humanoid race. Sound familiar? It's shown up in pop culture with increasing regularity. You've heard it on podcasts, in politics. The theory has even infiltrated the hit romance reality show, Love Island. Just what are all these people talking about? Let's get into it. Okay, so as with nearly any conspiracy theory, there are usually variations in belief, but for the most part, the theory posits that there is a race of reptilians, or lizard people, if you will, and you should, that work in secret to dominate and rule over humans like you. Now, while the suggested origin of these lizard people varies from theorist to theorist, some say that they're from Earth, some say that they're from space, some say that they started on Earth, went to space, and came back. The one thing that most folks agree on is that these motherfuckers are evil. So how do these lizard folk go from ruling in secret to getting brought up in Love Island casual contestant conversation? Well, the reptoids can thank former soccer player, sports reporter, and hot take haver David Icke for absolutely and utterly blowing up their spot. It's also worth noting now that David Icke's ideas are kind of problematic and borderline prejudiced, but we'll get to that later. In 1998, David Icke released a book called The Biggest Secret, where two people he interviewed claimed that the British royal family were not in fact humans, but lizard people. Icke also claims that George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Bob Hope are lizard people as well. Icke says that the reptoids are responsible for the JFK assassination, Princess Diana's death, and even 9/11. According to Icke, the Anunnaki, an ancient species of prehistoric alien demigods, came from the Orion, Sirius, and Draco constellations, created humans, and then created a reptilian-human hybrid. Making sense, right? Additionally, Icke suggests that lizard people drink human blood, which allows them to shapeshift into human form, allowing them to, I guess, then become a vaudeville legend and have an airport named after them. Icke has written that presidents and prime ministers have either been lizard people themselves or have been possessed or controlled by lizard people, and that they have had control over powerful offices since ancient times, like when Shrek 1 came out. Pretty heavy stuff, right? So what is there that even supports these wild-ass claims? Well, a little bit. Kind of.
So what is there that even supports these wild-ass claims? Well, a little bit. Kind of.
So what is there that even supports these wild-ass claims? Well, a little bit. Kind of.